Recovery for those who have suffered the worst effects of coronavirus is a prolonged process, both physically and mentally. Men are more than twice as likely to need intensive care than women, and around half of all those who go into intensive care survive. Our medical correspondent Fergus Walsh has been to University College Hospital in London to meet some patients at the start of their rehabilitation.
She's feeling tired. All right, okay.
Slowly, delicately, patients almost broken by coronavirus are being restored.
Jake, we're going to have a little roll over to the other side now.
Jake, who has a heart condition and diabetes, spent 3 weeks on a ventilator. It was touch and go whether he'd survive.
And my chances were, I think, very, very low.
He's still so weak, getting him into a chair is far from easy. But it's an essential part of his rehabilitation at University College Hospital in central London. Jake still has a tracheostomy, an opening in his windpipe, which used to be attached to a ventilator.
My understanding is recovery works in very small steps.
I'm just going to get you fully in a chair position now. Lovely.
I'm not going to give up. Another chance.
Do high five.
I was given a chance, and I'm not going to waste it.
Psychologically, has it been difficult?
Now that I know that I will go back to my family, go back to work, go back to the normal routine, I think psychologically I'm much, much stronger.
Jake, who's 55, hasn't seen his wife Natasha and 17-year-old daughter Emily for over a month, except via video.
Every time the doctor will call me, they will say he's not out of danger. It was the hardest time of my life. So me and Mum find it rather difficult, so it's absolutely brilliant. I'm over the moon to see him at least once a day on video call.
Yeah, well done.
Physios, occupational and speech therapists, dietitians, health psychologists. There's a huge team involved in rehabilitation.
A lot of physical rehab because they've got a lot of weakness, and then there's the cognitive impact as well. So the delirium that comes from being in an intensive care unit, the confusion that comes with being asleep for many days and waking up to the reality of all of this. So yeah, it's huge.
Up and down. All right. Can you feel your feet on the floor?
Eddie is struggling with the impact of COVID-19 on mind as well as body. He's just emerged from intensive care after a month on a ventilator.
I'm 66 years old, and I felt nearest to death than anything else with this coronavirus.
Do you think you can reach to touch my hand?
As well as physical therapy, he will need psychological support.
Hallucination-wise, so many terrible things that you think are real. Even when you wake up, you think they were real, that you lived through them.
Do you mind telling me what sort of things you were imagining?
I've got a little bit of plot where my dad was buried, and I could see the grave ready there for me to go in there. I said, come, you have to come in there. It's ready for you.
Simply surviving intensive care after this disease is quite an achievement. But the legacy of coronavirus will be felt by many patients like Jake far into the future. Fergus Walsh, BBC News.
The physical and mental burden of recovering from the effects of coronavirus. That was Fergus Walsh reporting there.